Hello, everybody. I'm very delighted to be here. Basically, my task is to talk about my passion, which is early childhood education, and distill 3 most amazing years of my life into 10 minutes. So let's see if I can do that quite quickly for you. So let me give you a little background. I'm not a parent. I'm not an educator. I'm not an early childhood education specialist. I'm a problem solver. That's what I do for a living. And I had a conversation, and I was told that many children in Jamaica didn't have crayons. And I said, well, that's crazy. Like, you know, what are 4-year-olds doing running around Jamaica without crayons? I mean, that's what children do, right? They color. Turns out, when I had a discussion with the Early Childhood Commission, there are many things that the children don't have, which are actually required for their learning in the early childhood age group. They don't have balls, they don't have blocks, they're using juice boxes as balls and so forth. And I said, let me do some research on early childhood education. Let me just give you a crash course of what I thought was really important. So it turns out when you invest in early childhood, you really get a benefit too. And this was a study that was done by Perry High School in 2006. And the punchline is this, that for every dollar invested US in early childhood development, it yields a cumulative economic return to society of $17, with $12 directly benefiting the public. And of the public return, 88% from crime savings, and the rest was education, increased taxes, and welfare savings. And I went, oh my gosh, like, so you mean to tell me if we invest in children, which is a really cool thing to do, we also get a benefit, like we invest in children and we can cut crime? This is fantastic. So I had this idea. Why don't we have a campaign? So everybody gets interested in early childhood education. Everybody gets interested in early childhood development, and we can help all the children. And so we have 2 objectives, which Empress mentioned. I'll just go through them here. One was to increase awareness of the importance of early childhood education and good early childhood practices. And the other was to provide recommended learning tools to all early childhood institutions. There are about 2,500 institutions, according to the regulators, with about 125,000 children. The year before I started this, I led a Guinness World Record effort, and we managed to get 657,000 books donated in 7 days. So I figured, you know, how hard can it be to get a bunch of crayons? Well, so where I want to start with our program, though, is where we actually started. And it's drawn as a Venn diagram for a reason, because there's a sweet spot right in the middle, and that's our Saturday Gleaner page. And the Saturday Gleaner page meets both our awareness and tools objective, and that's what it looks like if you have never seen it before. It's a partnership, primarily carried by the Gleaner. National is a sponsor, and Jack Mandora provides the content. But it was the first time curriculum-appropriate material was made available to everybody. So this was a cost-effective solution to reach parents, teachers, everybody, every single Saturday since February 2012, we've done this. And that's some children using the Saturday page in the classroom. So we also try to promote innovation and equity through our awareness campaign. And there are 4 things I want to focus on. We use the media, we've used branding, we have teacher workshops, and we have events. And I want to focus on each one for a little bit. So media, we've had incredible support from the media. Our launch was publicized. I did an article series in the Gleaner, cussing the government mostly. The editorial of the Gleaner even took up the issue, which was very nice of them. And our events are covered. We were on the radio, TV, cinema, blogs. We had a PSA that ran at Palace for over a year. We have a website, and of course, we're very active in social media. That's really sort of a traditional, non-traditional ways to get the message out. Then we did branding. So if you're driving on the road, we have these mobile moving billboards, thanks to National, and they go into every community. 5:30 one morning, I get a phone call. It's Butch Hendrickson, and he says, you want everybody to know that this is really important, right? And I said, yes. He goes, I'm going to put it on the bread. I said, you're going to put it on the bread? How are you going to put it on the bread? I'm thinking he's going to bake it on the bread. He goes, watch me. And then, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, there's a band on the bread. Now, that's prime real estate. Everybody wants to be on that band because, as you can imagine, it hits every single community. It has the URL, and it has our tagline on it, and it is everywhere. If I go into schools, people say, yes, the thing on the bread, I know crayons count. So our events too are done a little differently because we really believe that it's important to raise awareness by people seeing the tools in action. So that's a child at one of our events, and look at that concentration. The pegboards that you see in the back, the children love to stack them way up to the ceiling. But parents actually see the children using the tools, and it makes a difference. That's my Rotary Club for Read Across Jamaica Day, and that's a teacher having fun with our puppets. I want to move a little bit now to our teacher workshops, which are special. Give a little background on this. I had no intention of doing any teacher workshops whatsoever. I heard the children needed tools. Tools was the problem. I was going to solve that problem. That was it. I was done. However, we discovered that teachers actually did need some training with using the tools, and the U.S. Embassy came on board early, and they were very interested in teacher training. So they did 70 teachers in the first year, 5 in each parish, and it went really, really well. So I had this idea that I wanted to do this workshop, and I have found this amazing lady. So I went to the embassy and said, well, can you bring her down here? Well, the State Department asked her to come, which she thought was very thrilling. And she is the ooey gooey lady. That is her title, and that's her there with the minister and the American ambassador, who is wearing our Crayons Count shirt. The ooey lady is amazing. She is not, there is no chalk and talk with this lady. She is a very hands-on, very physical person. She really energizes and excites the teachers. So that is a picture of her. And pretty much all the pictures of her kind of look like that. That is a construction hat she's wearing on her head, and those are paintbrushes. And she's basically teaching the teachers how to be more creative in the classrooms. And there are the teachers painting with the hat. And it was really phenomenal. We got a lot of response from the teachers from that. We did 560 teachers in 2 days. It was a very, very good event. Moving on from that, we decided that we're going to have this learning lorry, right? So we can drive around Jamaica and do teacher training. And that's the learning lorry. It's a beautiful vehicle. It's state-of-the-art. It's air-conditioned. It has its own generator, own bathroom. It has magnetic whiteboards. It has no blackboard in it and no chalk. And that's basically what it looks like inside. It has AV equipment. It's quite very fancy. That's what one of our teacher training sessions looks like. So let me just give you a little story behind this. And I apologize for the quality, but I can't take a professional photo when an actual training is going on. So that's a candid. What we do is we show the teachers by doing. So we have a professional teacher who comes in who goes through a session with 2 or 3 children, using the tools to meet the curriculum, and the teachers observe. And they literally, every session is the same thing, and they go, oh, I see. And then they get really excited and start asking lots of questions. And we really try to meet the teachers where they are. We've done 1,139 teachers in 2013-2014. We do between 60 and 72 teachers a week when school is in. We also try to do innovation equity in our tools, and the part that Alison really likes me to talk about here is how we manage to get all of these tools to schools. So there has been a role for cash, in-kind goods, and in-kind services, and I need to give a little evolution of how this happened. So in the first year, we had individuals, companies, organizations here and abroad who really helped out. We had cash donations, we had crowdfunding, we had name it, people had fundraisers. It really went far and wide. That's a kindergarten school, and the children actually gave up their crayons. So they also wanted to help. And these are some children in Ireland who raised about 500 euros for us because they thought it was a cool project. So we got a lot of help, and with all that help, which we were extremely grateful for, we could have helped maybe hundreds of schools. National came in a very, very big way. National decided they wanted all the children to have the exact same things. And that was pretty revolutionary. So that's basically what a typical year looks like for me. That's we get 5 or 6 containers. They're bought in bulk by National mostly. Shipped by Food for the Poor, transported by Zuki, boxed by A&J, and taped by 3M. It's a partnership. It's a massive exercise to do the packing and distribution. We, the National staff, are volunteers, and we pack 3,000 boxes in 4 days, and we do island-wide distribution within 2 weeks. So basically, I started in September, and I'm done. I've already done for this year. To give you an idea of the size of it, what we did in 2012, 2013, and 2014, and there's more than this because they're the people who gave in kind, we're looking at, because you probably can't read it, we're looking at, to summarize for you, millions of pages of paper every year, hundreds of thousands of crayons every year, tens of thousands of tubs of paint, puppets, paintbrushes, glue sticks, puzzles, Play-Doh, and scissors every year, and then thousands of balls and lacing tools and shape sorters and blocks and stackers and so forth, pegs and pegboards every single year that we've done so far. And that's a sample kit for a large school, and there's one in the back. I get lots of thank yous. I get lots and lots of thank yous. I answered the phone in my office last week, and it was a school with singing. These children were just singing thank you on the phone. It was fabulous. I picked this letter, and they're all on the website. All of this is on the website. But I picked this letter because I wanted to make a point. They started out by saying, we, the students, parents, board members, and the teaching staff wish to say thank you. So that was really important for me, right? Because it means that everybody in the entire school ecosystem was aware of this. And then they said it's very greatly appreciated, as in these economic times it has become increasingly more difficult to purchase learning materials. And then they talk about how they use it to meet the curriculum. So from a donor standpoint, that's like an ideal thank you letter. And there are lots of them, so it's kind of hard to pick. This I just got this week, and this may mean very little to you other than it looks really nice to see the children using the tools. But what I could tell from these 5 pictures is that they have accumulated tools over the years, because there are things I gave in year 1 that I didn't give in year 2 or year 3, and I was able to tell from the 5 photos that they've actually kept them, which was very encouraging for me. 3 key takeaways, and then I'm done, because I'm sure my alarm is about to go off. This is the first time there's been an island-wide campaign using traditional, non-traditional methods to increase awareness of the importance of early childhood education and good early childhood practices. It's the first time that standard recommended materials were provided to every institution in Jamaica that has applied for registration with the ECC. If you rural, urban, uptown, downtown, JLP, PNP, Tivoli, Arnett, everybody gets the exact same thing. It's based on enrollment. And then the last thing I want to mention is that we really focus on trying to solve the problems. As I said, I am not a specialist, I'm not an expert, I'm a problem solver. I try to meet the teachers where they're at, so we want to go into communities, so we get a lorry. You know, we realize the teachers aren't trained, so we try to reach them in a way that works for them, teaching by learning by demonstration and dialogue and so forth. And I'll leave you with this thought, which is one of my favorite quotes. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you.
Thank you so much.